Yo, cryptocurrencies are doing their magic right now, especially coins like Safemoon, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, or all these animal coins. They're going completely nuts and make a lot of people crazy, crazy rich. And I'm extremely happy for everybody who makes money with those coins. But I think from my perspective, it's always a great time to be reminded of the risks in crypto and also like how do you actually discover strong fundamentals, right? Like what coin should you buy? What should you make in a market environment where left and right random coins make 200, 300, 400, or even 1,000x's, right? And I've been in the market now for more than 4 years in total. I've been investing actively since 3.5 years. So I've been through all this, and there's a lot of red flags that are compiling right now. And you don't want to get left out. You don't want to be becoming a bag holder throughout the next 2-3 years, right? Buying the top, making other people rich. You want to be front runner, right? You want to be front running strong fundamentals in the longer run. You don't want to chase the pump after it made 1,000x, right? That's what you don't do, right? That's how you get wrecked, 100%. So in today's video, I thought I'd talk a little bit about this. Also, what is my approach right now? What am I doing, right? What am I looking at? Am I buying? Am I selling? Am I hodling? And we're also going to be looking at some numbers, such as the big Bitcoin stock to flow model, see what that tells us, look at some on-chain metrics. And if you're excited about that, then make sure that you hit up the subscribe button, number one. Number two, I always forget to say that, join my completely free and open Telegram group. There's a lot of people that are admins there. You can ask questions. Right now, for example, we're talking a lot about Casper and about all those food coins, right? But we have a very strong and solid community there. So go over, check that out. And also share this video with 1 or 2 friends on WhatsApp, on WeChat, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, wherever you want. And lastly, also make sure that you watch this entire thing. All right, so first things first, guys, I just moved to Lisbon. If anybody of you is here, please hit me up, text me on Telegram at Cryptocito. I would love to connect with you, love to meet you here on ground. I'm gonna be staying here towards the end of the year. That said, let's talk about the current market sentiment. And guys, it's absolutely crazy. I know that a lot of you are probably new to crypto. Well, welcome to the fastest growing asset class under the sun. Get used to this, guys. Get used to this complete madness and craziness where you see random coins suddenly in the top 30, top 40, right? We've seen it 2017 with Einsteinium and all those weird coins, right, that suddenly shut up. And now we're seeing it again, right? So my mission is to really help you to take smarter decisions in that wild crypto west, guys, because that industry is so noisy, it's so fast moving. And you, again, like I said, you don't want to become a lifelong bag holder, right? You don't want to get wrecked buying the top, making other people rich. So always keep that in mind. And that's why number one thing that I can share with you before we get into anything is before you buy a coin that anybody recommends you or that your friend tells you like, oh, this thing is going to be the next Shiba Inu, it's going to be the next Dogecoin, right? Before you ape into something like that, just please look at the chart. Look at the chart. Look at the weekly chart. Look at how many percentage did it go up over the past few days, right? And you'll probably see if you're buying the absolute top after it did a 50, 100, 500x, you are already too late, right? Because most of these coins are just pump and dumps, right? And that's totally fine, right? That's basically the gamble and the whole thing in crypto, which makes it so engaging, so addictive, and so interactive. But be reminded that before you buy a coin, look at the chart and also be fully aware that this is basically a gamble, right? You're not, most likely you're not aware of the team background, you're not aware of the fundamentals, you're not aware of on-chain activity. Most of them don't even have a running product, right? So be aware of that, be reminded, and always only put in what you're really willing to lose, right? And can afford to lose, right? And if you zoom out a little bit, Bitcoin already is the most volatile, riskiest asset, right? Compared to stocks, compared to gold, compared to anything else, right? It grows in cycles and it goes down in cycles, right? And those cycles can be really hard, right? Right now, everyone's making money, so that's fine. But in a bear market, you are not making money, right? So that's not fine. So that's number one. And I really, really encourage you to do that, right? Not listen to friends, not buy something without even having opened the website, right? Like, don't do that. And if you do it, then just with 2, 3, 5% of your portfolio, right? Like, but please don't do it. All right, so now let's look into some use cases, right, and some examples, okay? And to me, this whole meme coin festival, right, it seems to me like the food coin mania that we had in summer of 2020, right, in the DeFi summer of 2020. We suddenly had sushi, then we had kimchi, we had spaghetti, we had hot dog, right? And it really started with those coins that initially had kind of like very fun and engaging websites and, you know, memes and a lot of noise on Twitter. But then it escalated pretty quickly, and a lot of people got entirely rug pulled, meaning they lost their entire collateral, all their money. And you don't want to be the next victim, right? You don't want to do that. So let's look into some use cases here. Obviously, the meme coin that started it all is Dogecoin, right? So Dogecoin is currently trading at 48 cents. It has been incredibly highly anticipated the week towards the Saturday Night Live, which was hosted by Elon Musk, and everybody thought that he's going to announce something really, really huge. Turned out that he was just, you know, making his jokes, making his things, and that's all cool. That's all fun, right? And towards that week, Dogecoin really pumped, I think, towards 70 cents. I think it even crossed 70 cents, has a market cap of 63 billion US dollars. Okay. So this thing, if you look at a chart, I'm not talking about a 24 hours chart, I'm talking about this chart, my friends. Like, this chart is not sustainable, right? You can love Dogecoin. I love Dogecoin for several reasons, for the ideology, for the movement, right? For everybody who is kind of into open banking, right? It's basically the people's money, like Elon himself is saying, right? I love that ideological point of view. But if you look at the chart here, a lot of people are going to get wrecked. It's at 73 cents. This chart is not going to go up forever. I mean, it can go to $1 to $2, $3, but it has to come down. No chart in history has been going up only, right? There has to be a correction, a multi-year correction, and maybe Dogecoin becomes the global reserve currency or the national currency on Mars, right? Maybe it does become all that, but it will take years, right? It will take a lot of time. It has been the best performing asset over the past 4 months. Went up basically 150, 200x, which is amazing. I love to see you guys making money, but and I don't discourage you to dump all your Doge now, right? I don't want to influence you. I just want you to think critically and also to think logically. Like, if you look at that chart, which is basically a straight line literally to the moon, like, this thing is already on the moon right now. It can go, like I said, to $2, $3, but guys, let's be honest here. For example, if you check now, as one thing I really encourage everybody to do always, right? If you want to buy a coin, check out their GitHub, right? And GitHub here on Dogecoin, this is probably the main, very currency. This is the main repository. It has contributors if you want to look at their activities. How many comments have they publicly posted? Guys, there's been little to no development since mid-end 2017, right? And of course, right now it's picking up again. You have here, well, these are actually the main guys, the main programmers behind Bitcoin, and they're probably in here right now because Dogecoin is a fork of Bitcoin, right? It's a fork of Litecoin, and Litecoin is a fork of Bitcoin. So that's why you see this guy, Vladimir, I think is his name, van der Laan, and also Peter Wulle, who have been the core developers behind Bitcoin, right? Gavin Anderson, you all know these guys if you're into crypto, into Bitcoin. But guys, there has been like no development here in that time frame, right? Like, little to no development, and basically just a few people, you know. But guys, this is what I mean. You don't want to become a bag holder. You don't want to become, you know, like, join the movement. That's all great, but if you put in all your life savings into this, I'm not 100% sure if that's sustainable. Next thing that we should be looking into is obviously Shiba Inu, right? And they got just listed on FTX, on Binance, and they have incredible high leverages, right? So these exchanges are very, very, very sneaky on that, right? Because on one hand, they promote solid technology and want to, you know, decentralize everything. But on the other hand, they jump on something like this and consciously add very high leverage because they know that people want to trade it, right? And they know that the house always wins in trading, so they are going to get crazy, crazy rich, right? We've obviously seen that. And if you look at the chart, guys, same thing. You don't want to buy that. You don't want to buy it right now at 3,065. What is it? I don't know, not sats, but like, I don't know. Just, there's so many zeros. You know, consciously they're putting those very, very high total coins, right? Max supply is incredibly high, just so that if you buy with $50, it seems that you have a lot of coins, right? But that doesn't mean anything. And this thing went up, to 20x over the past 7 days. I don't know, 3,800x over the past month. It's crazy. Like, a lot of people are going to buy the top here. And Huobi, OKX, Gate.io, right? All centralized exchanges. I think Binance as well, and others, FTX. They have taken advantage of that, right? And that's fine, right? They're running a business, they're running a company, but just be aware of that, guys. Like, that's my main point. And if you go here on CoinGecko and just click on search, you can see, for example, Safemoon is trending, right? And Safemoon has been one of the largest successful marketing projects I've ever seen, right? They have more people, I think, than at one point. I think they had more than 1 million people who like this. Probably all kind of like bought. 5 billion market cap, 5.5 billion. It's trading on rank 37 on CoinGecko. So if you look at the chart, I mean, there was this first wave a few weeks ago, mid-April, which everyone was saying, like, that's the future, it's here to stay. And after it did hundreds of X, right? And now it somehow came back up again because they're just relentless at marketing. I think nobody really knows what it does and who is behind it. And maybe it is the future. I mean, I have not, conducted deep fundamental analysis. I'm just talking about it because a lot of you asking me, and also I want to warn you. I just want to make you aware, like, if you're truly convinced of the fundamentals of SafeMoon, go ahead and buy it, right? It's also on Gate, on PancakeSwap. Obviously, it's Binance Smart Chain based. But if you look at the source code here, and also let's look at the Twitter, because I think there's something interesting there as well. If you look at the source code here, yeah, there's not much. I mean, there's this main repository here. If you check the top contributors, like, I don't know, guys. Yeah. And if you check the Twitter, there was something very interesting here, because, guys, they have 627,000 followers. Like, that's not possible. And they started in March. Like, most of these followers are completely bought. 376,000. Like, guys, this is not cool. I mean, I'm all a fan of, when projects are becoming success and when they really add value to the community, to the people, to society, right? And or at least try something. But this to me looks like pure marketing, right? Pure marketing. I know for a fact that friends of mine have been offered boatloads of money to talk positive about SafeMoon, right? So that's why I'm also coming out now and talk about them, because I also know that for a fact, people have been offered a lot of money. You also seen Jake Paul and all those large influencers that had nothing to do with crypto, and they're like teasing on their accounts, and show this to millions of people. So just be careful with that, guys. Just be incredibly careful, and that's my whole point here. Now, does that mean that you should sell everything right now? Does it mean that the market is over now, the bull run, that everything's going to crash very soon? Well, I think this is probably the beginning of the end, but I think it also that we have a large alt season still ahead. I think Bitcoin inevitably has to go to six figures, right, to at least 100K. And there's still actually very bullish fundamental news coming out, right? If you look at the Bitcoin chart here, it doesn't look that bad anymore because it's been going sideways now since 2-3 months. So I think Bitcoin is ready for the next leg up. Maybe ETH will first go to 5-6K, and then Bitcoin will probably catch up and go to the six figures, right? Which is what we've all been waiting for. All right, so now, as promised, let's look into some metrics here, because like I said, there's still bullish things coming up. Not too much for Bitcoin in terms of technical breakthroughs or implementations or integrations. I think Taproot is coming. But besides that, of course, lots of funds, lots of large companies, right? If Facebook would announce, or Amazon or Apple, that they're now scaling into Bitcoin, it would obviously have a very positive and big impact, right? So that is always there from an investment perspective, but also on-chain wise, right? Like, if you look at that here, In 2017, from September, between September and December, which was when Bitcoin really peaked, we had this incredible spike in addresses, right? And right now we're not seeing that. We have seen a steady climb in addresses, daily active addresses, but we're not seeing a crazy spike, right? So that could indicate that there's a new wave or a new influx of people that are going into Bitcoin or joining the crypto space. And right now we only have 1.2 million daily active addresses, right? Which is not a lot, guys. That's not much. So that's one thing. And I'm actually really bullish on Bitcoin also for this cycle still, even though if you look at a monthly chart, there has to be a correction to come. But I think there's still room to grow in the midterm, right? 3 to 4 months probably. Now, if we look into the next kind of like very important metrics here, on-chain metrics, or basically it's a price prediction model, which was created by Plan B. And it's actually the most accurate price prediction model of Bitcoin, right? And what it does, it sets into relation the creation or the supply of new Bitcoins with the demand, right? So obviously the demand is very hard to calculate and to measure, but the supply is programmed, right? So the supply indicates after the halvening, that's when it flips from red to blue. That's when the halvenings occur. And after that, we always see a spike in price, right? A massive explosion in price. And we've seen it first here in 2013, right after the halving. It really went up a lot, consolidated a little bit, and then it went up even more with halfway through the cycle, right? Halfway from this halving to the next halving, right? So, and if you don't know, every Bitcoin halving happens every 4 years, right? So that's kind of like the peak here after 2 years, 1.5, 2 years after the halving. And the last halving has been here in May of 2020, right? So that's when Bitcoin was at 8K. We just had this nasty March COVID dip, right? And sell off. And then the halving came, and then we have really recovered and really shot through the stars, right? Bitcoin at 60K is already pretty strong. But the model indicates that we're going to see at least 100K by June, right? So that's what the model predicts. It's obviously not kind of like a linear growth. If you're in crypto, you know that cryptos explode exponentially, but they also crash really hard, right? But yeah, just historically, guys, you can see it here. We had 2 halvings before, so we have hard data from halving to halving. And we can see always we're like, when it goes from light green to kind of like yellowish, that's when we kind of peak, right? And right now we're still in the grass green colors here, not completely halfway through. Like I said, the halving occurred just a year and 10 days ago, I think May 1st, right, when the halving was. So we still have room to grow according to that model. And I think that we're going to definitely shoot above that line here. Probably going to see like, 180, 200. I think the model predicts actually on different considerations. It predicts like 250K or something like that. So yeah, that's the model, the Bitcoin stock to flow model. But guys, I want to wrap this video up with Ethereum, because I'm beyond bullish on ETH, right? And it has finally crossed 4K, just dipped a little bit below again, but it's at $450 billion market cap, and it's only less than 3x away from Bitcoin, right? So I still believe that ETH is going to overtake Bitcoin, right? Even though Bitcoin goes to way above 100K, I still think that ETH will overtake Bitcoin and go extremely high this cycle. At least it's going to be very close. But there's just so much that Ethereum, has boiling up. For example, in July, EIP 1559 is going to be implemented, right? Ethereum Improvement Proposal 1559. And what it does is basically reduces the amount of circulating ETH, right? So it's basically a burning mechanism for transactions. And with each transaction, ETH gets burned. So it makes ETH the ultimate scarce coin in the whole world, right? More scarce than Bitcoin. There's models that predict inflation rates below Bitcoin. So that's really bullish for the price, of course. And I also saw one post, maybe I can dig it out on Twitter, that said the implementation of EIP 1559 is basically like the implementation of 3 halvings on Bitcoin simultaneously, right? And we all know what happened with the Bitcoin price after each halving, right? I just showed you the data. So that's gonna come. And right now, if you look at the Gwei prices per transaction, I just made a transaction yesterday. It cost me $200, right? Obviously, also because the ETH price in dollar value went up a lot, but still, Gwei wise, we're on. I don't know if it's all-time highs, but it's crazy, crazy high, and it's not fun, right? It's not fun to use DeFi, and probably all season is going to be delayed because of that. That's why probably people are rather buying Safemoon and Shiba on centralized exchanges, because you don't have to deal with long times to wait for the transaction to settle or high gas fees, right? So that's probably one reason. But this is going to be fixed, right, with the EIP 1559 implementation, and also Uniswap is going to implement optimistic rollups, I think in July. So when that comes, I think we're going to see a massive DeFi season, because then DeFi is usable again. Okay, so that's another thing I'm super bullish on. And if you look at the chart here on Ethereum, we can basically see that we have gone really into full price discovery mode here, right? So we're in the midst of price discovery. If you're now thinking to buy into ETH because you want to make a 20x with it and get crazy rich, also be reminded that you're buying into an all-time high, right? And you should never buy an all-time high. You should, if you buy an all-time high, you should buy it in the beginning of the price discovery, right? And not in the midst of it or at the end of it. I still think that ETH is right now the better buy than BTC, but I think that especially fundamentally strong altcoins are even better than ETH right now, right? Risk reward wise, but also in terms of upward potential. That said, of course, none of anything that I say, you should not even listen to me. None of anything that I say is any sort of financial advice. You're old enough to take full accountability, responsibility of your own finances, of your own money in crypto. But I really want to take my platform and also my experience to help you take smarter decisions in the space, because I've done all this, right? I got rug pulled, I got wrecked, I got scammed, I lost my keys, I sent to a wrong address. I've done it all, guys. There's nothing that can shock me in crypto, right? And what I'm doing also now to answer my opening question, I'm just chilling, guys. I'm just chilling because I have so many strong fundamentals in my portfolio. I know they're not going to zero, right? And you have that risk on Safemoon. You have that risk on Shiba, right? Because those are brand new, untested, unproven meme coins, right? And that's all fine and cool and fun. But I'm just chilling with my strong fundamentals, and I know that sooner or later it's going to reflect on the chart. It's actually already reflecting on the charts. My portfolio went up 10x from January to now. Like, what more do you want, right? So that being said, don't get wrecked, don't get fooled, don't chase pumps, don't buy the tops, and you'll do fine. That said, I'll see you guys very soon on my channel. Subscribe, like, share, and be good.